Hey guys, I am Daisho, and I am bringing you episode 2 of Daisho's Playbook. This time we're doing Auramancer. I know, again, I'm a little bit late on this Auramancer train, but I still want to do it eventually because I have opinions, and I know you guys want to hear them. A lot of you guys enjoy my deck, guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this one too. So this one's Auramancer, and I believe Auramancer got a lot worse since the last thing because they added a lot more instant kill spells. Woohoo! This deck loves when people can do stuff at instant speed, which makes it so that when I enchant my my guys, they just kill them. But anyway, let's just ignore that for now. We're gonna ignore some of the faults and hope that this deck is aggro enough to beat some people down. Anyway, how you know, Umbra? +1/+1, first strike, totem armor. Great card. Always gonna be in the deck. Lifelink is interesting. Enchanted creature has lifelink. You deal damage, you gain life. You guys can see I'm running one of them, and you're gonna see that as a common theme. I want to run at least one of them in case I get 3 dreams or Totem Guide Heartbeast out, and I really need it. Because there's some situations where you just need a little bit of extra life, and if you can get lifelink on somebody, then it's going to be useful. That being said, towards the beginning of the game, when I've got a Suntail Hawk, I don't really want lifelink on it. I want Rancor on it. I want Oakenform on it. I don't really want lifelink. So early on, lifelink is not the way to go, but late game sometimes it can be really useful. So I run one of them so that I always have an option. If I can search for it, then I'll go pick it up, but I don't really want to draw it all too often. Anyway, Rancor is the next one, +2/+0 and trample. If it goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. So if they kill it in response, then this card still goes away. But if once it lands on the battlefield, even if they exile the creature, then it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, so you can get it back. So that's really good. +2/+0 and trample for 1 is just outstanding. There's not much that can beat it. So it's definitely a great card. Definitely should be in the deck. Glad that you can search for it, because a lot of times if you pay 5 to search, then you might only have 1 left, and then it might, like, at that point you just have to hope it taps and leaves a forest open, and then if that's the case, you can go get Rancor. Otherwise, if it leaves plains open, you can go get Hyena, bruh. Suntail Hawk is basically one of the staples of this deck. It's a 1/1 flyer, and you just make it stronger, so then it becomes more than a 1/1 flyer. Canopy Cover is one of the best cards in the deck. Not only does it make it so that it's hard for them to block your guys, but it makes it so that you can't be targeted, and that's the real thing. Giving it hexproof, which is basically enchanted creature can't be the target of spells your opponents control, basically makes this deck good. If every card in this deck was hexproof, then it would actually be a pretty good deck. Fist of Ironwood is interesting. I mean, I like to run one of them. Just maybe I'll need some more guys as chump blockers or something like that, or maybe I'll just need trample, and for some reason I can't get Rancor, I don't know why. So then I like to have Fists of Ironwood in the deck. Plus it gives me a couple of extra guys, so I don't have to worry too much about not having enough creatures, because I took out a bunch of the creatures in this deck. So that's why I run it that way. Of course, Spirit Dancer is amazing. If it's not killed, it's just a beast. It gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it, and whenever you cast an aura spell, you can draw a card. So drawing a card is amazing because it makes it so that even if you have 4 enchantments on this creature, then you're not going to get like 5 for 1 by a Path to Exile, because you had just kept drawing them, so it didn't really matter. Nature's Spiral is a new addition to the deck for me. I previously thought it useless, as it's just basically like a 1-for-1, so you're kind of just cycling the card. But now with so much freaking removal and stuff with the 2 new decks, I think that it's worth it. Even though you can't go get back cards that are destroyed by Path to Exile because they're exiled, I think it's still worth it. Just because a permanent is any of your enchantments or any of your creatures, so that's pretty good. Pacifism, the one piece of control in your deck, gotta keep it in there. Plus it's an aura, so it could help you draw cards sometimes. Solana Ledgewalker is amazing. It's got hexproof, can't be blocked by most guys, and it's only a 2-drop. This guy's pretty cool. I don't usually draw him, and he's 2 white, so it's not great, but he has Intimidate, so most guys can't block him, and that's why he's really good in this deck, because you throw an Oakenform on him or a Borumbra, and he's a 5/5, almost unblockable. So that's pretty good. Stormfront Pegasus is pretty much the same thing. It's flying, so it's harder to block and stuff. Armadillo Cloak's amazing. I've talked about it in the past, but there's a couple of cool tricks you can do with it. If you put it on their creature, then when they ever deal damage to you, you just gain that much life. So, or if they leave it back as a blocker, you gain life. So if they try to hurt you, then you don't take any damage, because they deal the damage and then you gain it immediately. But either way, it's 3 cost for +2/+2 trample and lifelink, so that's pretty good. I like it. Auramancer is really good in this deck, especially with the removal. They're going to be killing your guys who have stuff on them. It's going to happen, and you can use this card to go get your guys back. And it's still a 2/2 guy for 3, and you can make it better. Aura Enchantments, the best creature in the deck for sure. if it gets equipped and it's got canopy cover or something on it, then it really can't be stopped. Even if it doesn't have canopy cover, even if you tap out for a turn, then and they have a decent amount of mana, then they're gonna be like, okay, Hyena Umbra, Lifelink, Boar Umbra, and then it's already a what, like a 9/9, and it's got Lifelink. Then it's just like, oh, GG, bro, because it can't even be blocked by most creatures. So that's amazing. Boar Umbra is +3/+3 totem armor. Good card. Griffin Guide's interesting, +2/+2 flying, and when it dies it makes a 2/2. So I mean, you'll notice like there's a bunch of totem armor and stuff. So all these cards are basically trying to make it so that actually, do I want lore? Yeah, all right. So all these cards are basically trying to make it so that if your creature does die, it's not as big of a deal. So totem armor makes it so that if your creature does die, he doesn't actually die. Griffin Guide makes it so that if he does die, you still get a 2/2 flyer. So that's pretty good. Lure is in there. I was thinking of taking it out. I don't really like it in this deck too much, but again, you can go search for it if you really need it at a certain time in the game. Then it could be really, really useful. Oops, sorry about that. It could be really, really useful, especially if you say you have they have a bunch of creatures out. They got Soul Wardens out, and then you can just play Lure and then swing in, and they'll have to block it. That's actually what happened last game. So it's definitely a really, really good card. You should throw it in there. Best Enchantress is great. It lets you make it so that when you play your enchantments and stuff, you're not getting wrecked, because enchantments kind of wreck you pretty badly. So if they just kill your creatures. Threw in one Oaken Form. Sorry about that. I threw in one Oaken Form. I don't know. I would throw in more, but I don't really know what to take out. There's a bunch of good cards in this deck, and +3/+3 is all. It's too bad it's not Boar Umbra, but you know, it's still pretty good. Sacred Wolf is nice. He's a 3/1 hexproof. One of the only 2 hexproof cards in the deck, and then there's 1 canopy cover, so there's only 3 ways to give your guys hexproof. So that kind of sucks. Snake Umbra is pretty good. Whenever you do damage, you get to draw a card. Plus it gives you totem armor. Plus it gives you +1/+1. So it's a pretty good card. I approve of it. Angelic Destiny is like the best aura in the deck. I mean, it's +4/+4 flying and first strike. Whenever enchanted creature dies, you can bring it back. So it's pretty good. It can come back, and I don't know. It's really good. It just sucks if they kill your creature in response to you playing this. So then that really sucks. And then there's Retether, which if you get this card out and it works for you, then you've just won. Like, late game, you finally get a couple of Gnarlids out there, or a Gnarlid and a Suntailhawk out there, and then they've been killing your guys all game, and it's just been sucking, and then you're like, oh yay, I drew Retether. I play Retether, and all of a sudden my Gnarlid's like a 45,000 with double lifelink and crazy shits. Gigantiform again is in the deck just in case I need it, if I get 3 dreams or something like that. To have an 8/8 that has trample is amazing. You're not going to get up to 9 mana most likely, so it doesn't really matter if you're running the other one or not, but it's pretty good. I like it. Mammoth Umbra, Vigilance is amazing. +3/+3 Vigilance. Vigilance when your creatures are so big is amazing, especially if they have hexproof or a bunch of layers of totem armor. 3 dreams, I've been talking about it all game. It's great to be able to search for stuff, because there's so many different adaptations for each of these enchantments. So that's one thing I like. And Totem Guide Heartbeast is a 2/5, so he's a guy, and he also lets you search for something that you need at that moment. And the lands is 13 and 11, so that's not too bad. You should be able to do pretty well with that. Let's briefly go through these cards, see why I don't run them. +X creatures in your graveyard. You never know. Like, it could be really useful, it could not be useful at all, so I don't run it. It may not be the worst thing to run, especially if late game you only have 1 mana open, because you just played 3 dreams and you know you have a bunch of guys in the graveyard. But I'm not running too many guys, so that's the problem. Divine Favor, when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3. Gives your creature +1/+3. If it was a 1-drop, I would love it. Otherwise, it's just decent. I usually like more plus in the front. Plus, it doesn't give you totem armor or anything, so it's not great. She is okay, but it's only when enchantment goes from the battlefield to the graveyard, so it's not always going to be useful, and when you are drawing, you're going to be drawing in bunches. I don't know. I ran one of the Fists. I like them, not too much. Heroes Reunion, I'm trying to run, but I feel like it's not that important, because usually you don't just need a few extra life. In general, you're just going to be beating people down with this deck, so I wanted to make it as aggro as possible, if that makes sense. Azure Spiral, I only had room for 1. Silvercoat Lion is just a 2/2 for 2. It's not bad in this deck, because if you just put in guys, then it works. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really love it, so I'm not going to run it. Oaken form, again, I was trying to find a place for it, but it's hard. Maybe I should really find a place for it because I'm trying to make this deck aggro, and you just throw these on Sundelhawks and they're amazing. Bramble Elemental's too expensive for me. He's a 5-cost 4/4 and he makes guys, but by then you're going to be fine. I mean, not necessarily. It could be useful late game. I'm just not trying to build this deck for late game. Gigantiform, again, I had room for 1. Siege Mastodon's a 3/5 or 5. What? And then there's Mythic Proportions, which is just a 7-drop. So, I mean, it's a 7-drop, and it does the same thing as Gigantiform, which is a 5-drop. So, and I'm not even running the other Gigantiform. So let's just jump right into a game here. Ranked match, custom match, and it doesn't even matter. They don't even need to have the DLC content. I don't need to be playing against one of the brand new decks. Apparently, they don't like it. All right, let's try About You. It's the same game. Nope, we got into this one, and we've got Auramancer. But anyway, let's just see how this game goes. I think I could win. Really depends on my draw and what deck they're playing. If they're playing I don't like this hand at all. I'm not doing anything till turn 3. I do play first, but then I get Griffin Guide on my Mesa, so it's not terrible, but I don't love it. So I'll go back in and get a new one. Alright, I like this one a little better. I got Suntailhawk turn 1, Suntailhawk turn 2 if I need to. Or maybe turn 2 I play Fist just to start getting some damage, or maybe Hyena Umbra. I don't know. It's not too bad. Hopefully I'll draw land in like a Boar Umbra or something like that. That would be really nice. I wonder if he's playing the same deck as me. That would be kind of highly hilarious. Spectral Rider's interesting, and I would love to play him right now, but I cannot. And unfortunately all these things cost 1 white, so I can't really play any of them. But I can play Fists of the Ironwood, and it's a 2-drop, so I kind of like it here. And then I can start swinging in with my other guys then next turn also. Start swinging for 3, but it really depends on what he has, because if he's got a guy for me next turn, then I can't really do much about it. But I don't know, it's never going to hurt to have these 2 guys out there. So it looks like he's probably not playing this deck. You probably wouldn't start with 2 forests. That would seem negative. So I got the Boar Umbra, which is nice, but I still only have 1 land. Do I play others? Well, I think I'll just play other Suntailhawk this turn. Leave Lifelink and Hyena Umbra on out there. And I kind of wish I could play Spectral Rider, but either way, it's not too big of a deal right now. I just need to get Boar Umbra out there, and I think I'm going to throw my Boar Umbra on the one that already has Trample. May as well keep that one alive and get him a little bit bigger. Rites of Flourishing, perfect. That is just what I need right now. Not only am I playing against Apex, but also I get to draw lands, hopefully. Alright, we drew a forest, which isn't exactly what I wanted, but I'll take it. I will play Boar Umbra on you, and then we will get going, hopefully. Let's see, he's already at 16, so now he'll be swinging for 7, so he'll go down to 9. And then I can swing in for 9 next turn, but he's probably going to have something for me. But I can still swing in for 4, 5, 6, 7 in the air. 8 if I draw a Plains. And if not, then I can always, if I do draw Plains, I can always Lifelink and Hyena Umbra. I don't know. I'm in pretty good shape to win this one, I think. Especially since he's playing that deck. Another Rites of Flourishing. I love you, Ed Martinez 1960, but that's not really going to help you win the game. Unless you've got a Giant Spider, in which case that wouldn't be the most fun. Although I can still just lay Hyena Umbra on my dude. I don't even need to, actually. I can just swing in with this dude and make him pretty good. Actually, now that I think about it, Griffin Guide will give me flying, so I can swing in. Let's see if I can do this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, but I can actually play both of these lands. So I should be fine, because I can just lay Griffin Guide on him, and Hyena Umbra on, I may as well do it this guy, and then I swing in for 9, and then I win, I believe. Don't even need to swing in with the other 1/1. So it looks like I have been victorious, and I really don't think that this deck is gonna like ever lose to Apex. Like, that's not the matchup that they really want for this one. But again, we'll take him down to Steve, and that was what, turn 5 victory or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it was turn 6. Worked out for me. I wasn't too upset, but this kind of funny how this game is 15 minutes and the other one was almost half an hour. But anyway, I hope you that's just a testament to what kind of deck this is. At least the way I run it, it's just an aggro deck. Just punch people in the face as quickly as possible, get them off the battlefield. So hope you guys enjoyed this game. Have a wonderful day. Bye.